our Community Service Award on behalf of PMI is Danny Vargas.
Hey.
So unfortunately, Diego Zambrano from PMI couldn't be with us this evening, but he's done some incredible work, and I want to just recognize PMI for their mission, what they're trying to do. PMI, we were just in Italy last week visiting their facilities, and I think Marianne is still with us from Chile, but they're looking forward to a world without cigarettes. So they're doing important work to make sure that we can help particularly those veterans who smoke, and those military members who smoke. That's something that we all experienced when we did active duty, finding a future where we don't have cigarettes anymore, and where we have healthier veterans and healthier military members. So I'll say that on behalf of PMI. It's also now my honor to be able to present the Community Service Award. Community service is something that's near and dear to my heart. It's something that I've tried to do for the last 20 years to make sure that we can find ways to have an impact on the community in a variety of ways. The recipient of tonight's Community Service Award is Graciela Tiscareño-Sato. Graciela, a bilingual combat aviation veteran, has been a dedicated advocate for Latino veterans and their families since 2010. She's an award-winning author, keynote speaker, Spanish language air show announcer and performer. Her impact on the Latino community is unparalleled, serving in air shows, schools, and conferences nationwide. In 2012, Graciela responded to the need of Latino student veterans at Towson University by creating the Authentic Personal Branding for Students, Veterans, and Spouses workshop. She's coached over 6,000 veterans, helping them develop compelling personal brands for successful transition to civilian life. Her methods have led to numerous success stories with veterans securing employment and thriving in their careers. With 13 years in business, Graciela is the embodiment of successful Latina entrepreneur, and she founded Gracefully Global Group, a publishing firm known for the Captain Mama Children's Aviation book series. It sounds like such a fun series already. I can believe that. As the first Latina U.S. Air Force aviator to earn an air medal in combat operations, she designed these series to provide maximum representation of Latino service members. Her mission is to promote the positive visibility of Latino veterans' contributions to the United States of America. Graciela's unwavering commitment and innovative work make her an exceptional role model and advocate for Latino veterans and their families. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Graciela Tiscareño-Sato.
Yeah, you can have it in a minute. I know, you'll have it in just a minute. Okay. So I'm juggling my mama role with all the rest. Okay. Okay, ready? Mama's turn to talk. Here we go. All right. Okay. So when I was leaving the Air Force, women veterans saved my sanity and my life. They shaped my life, really. They helped me realize that the skills and talents that I loved were the most important for me to intentionally plan to use next. Whatever I was doing in the Air Force was second. And really, who are we kidding? The career that I had mastered in the Air Force as a KC-135 navigator didn't even exist in the civilian world, so I was going to have to do something different. But they made it possible for me. They opened up their networks and they said, you have no idea what exists on the outside. Don't even do a resume, don't even start interviewing, you have to stop. Know thyself first. So I would go on to build a career on my communication skills, public speaking skills, and writing skills. And somewhere, my love of aviation would remain. You'll see how in a minute. 18 months later, after leaving the Air Force, along came Milagro, my 1 pound 2 ounce baby who spent 137 days in the NICU. This kid right here, she taught me the power of informed advocacy for our kids and our community. When the Obama White House honored Champion of Change honor, bestowed Champion of Change honors on Women's History Month in 2014. I wrote a piece for their blog titled Raising Educational Expectations for Young Latino Students. You can still find it. In it, I wrote about Milano, the first of my 3 kids, my Braille literate whiz, a musician with perfect pitch despite her hearing aid and her cochlear processor, and now a graduate of the California School for the Blind. Let's clap for her. Clapping for you. For you. Okay? The severely premature baby born at 25 weeks who made me a mama. In that blog at the White House, I wrote, if she can accomplish all that without eyesight and a hearing impairment, imagine what Latino students could accomplish in this nation with no such disabilities. If only we surrounded them with informed advocacy, high expectations, and expected results. It's a model I have applied now as an entrepreneur, a word I made up, entrepreneur, celebrating Latino entrepreneurs, Latina and Latino veterans, and uplifting my fellow veterans. How do I do that? Well, first, I celebrated Latino entrepreneurs in a book you might have heard of called Latinovating, Green American Jobs and Latinos Creating Them. My independent publishing company, Graciela Global Group, launched it at Stanford, which my friends at Berkeley will never let me live down. While writing Latinovating, my 3rd child, Kiyoshi, saw me in my flight suit one night as I was getting ready for Veterans Day to go to his preschool, and he called me Captain Mama. That led me to write the first in the trilogy, which is Goodnight, Captain Mama, Buenas noches, Capitán Mama. I have these copies for you to see. It's a bedtime story where a little boy sees his mama and wonders what she's wearing and asks about the patches, because the kids always look for the patches. So that led to writing the 2nd book, which is a field trip, Captain Mama's Surprise, La Sorpresa de Capitán Mama. This time in the little boy's voice, because I think it's very important the little boys celebrate the cool things that women do and their mothers do in this country. And then we just launched last year, the 3rd in the trilogy, Taking Flight with Captain Mama, Despegando con Capitán Mama. I'm very proud of this series, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I have a lot of bilingual children's books in my house, and they're not about women flying airplanes. The girl is doing tacos, tortillas, and chocolate with her mama and abuelita. I have those books, love the heritage books, but I figured it was time to show who Latinas are and who mamas are, that we're veteranas and aviadoras también. Diversify the Sky is my battle cry. I do a whole bunch of assemblies before air shows. In Houston, I did 12 school assemblies before the Houston Air Show 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I'm on the air show circuit now because I want to get first-time families and kids like me to the air show, because I never went to an air show. Air show organizers are not promoting the show in Espanol. Now I know why we never went. So I do the D&I work, I do the public outreach, I do the interviews in the media, I go to the schools, and I get so many more kids to air shows because I want them to know about the scholarship that made my education possible to Berkeley, the Air Force Rossi Scholarship. And so you mentioned in the bio the announcing. Because I'm so overtly bilingual and I'm so overtly speaking Spanish everywhere I go, the Oregon Air Show asked me, would you do an experiment? Would you do the entire air show in Espanol? So I was up on the platform for 3.5 hours saying cool things like, medio ocho cubano, and maniobras. And so now we're really opening the doors to our communities to come to those air shows that inspire so many people to have a legacy of aviation that has excluded us for so long. We're doing a whole lot more of that in the next few years. And lastly, I'm helping veterans become epic storytellers of their value, because I have learned how to find my voice. I have learned how to tell my story and the messages about representation. But as we know, that identity crisis when we get out, it's real. And so I decided to answer that call that I got from the veterans at Towson University to come on over and show them how to talk about themselves and their value. And now we have this book called Brand Before Your Resume, which I gave away some copies this afternoon. This features 30 veterans who became epic storytellers of their value. You see them in here of how do you tell your story to intrigue when someone asks for that resume. So I welcome you to come chat with me. We're right back here. I am so happy everywhere I go. If I'm doing a keynote, I always say, hey, can I also do a workshop for your student veterans? So everywhere that I go, I'm always serving more veterans because that transformation of how they feel when they can tell their story is a beautiful thing to watch. And really, it started with her. Advocacy, informed advocacy, high expectations, and expecting those results. So I want to thank Olga Studio, whose Modelo commercial is running over there, and I just sent her a picture going, oh my God, the commercial is running. She nominated me for this honor tonight. I want to thank her. I want to thank Danny, and I want to thank everybody who made this possible, and I'm so happy to be joining your ALVA community. And I think we're done now. Step down. Yep, you can have your fidget now, okay? Okay. Oh, we're going to take a little picture. Yeah, she came all the way from California, so I figured she might as well stick around with me, right? Cheese. I should say Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Amazing.
Thank you.